The Persona series has always been well regarded for crafting interesting characters and stories that completely captivate players. It's even gone as far as to dive into the music and fighting game genres with Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Now Atlus is continuing its attempt at music rhythm games with Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight and Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight. Now, although these are two separate games, you can buy them in a single collection with the port of Persona 4 Dancing All Night for 3 games in total. I'll be reviewing both new games as a single collection, as like a pair of new Pokemon games, they're sort of one and the same. Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight and Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight are two halves of the single narrative. Following the events of Persona 4 Dancing All Night, the sisters of the Velvet Room across Persona 3, 4, and 5 find themselves arguing on who has the best Velvet Room guest. Since the events of Persona 4 Dancing All Night already happened, the competition is mainly between the cast of Persona 3 and Persona 5. The setup is quite literally something out of a fanfiction. The cast of both games are brought to Club Velvet, where everyone is dreaming and will forget the events of that night once they wake up. It conveniently lets the events be canon without actually being canon. The end result are some quirky conversations between the cast of characters, but nothing in terms of a good narrative. Instead, it's just a forced story setting so that Atlus could have a reason for these games to exist in the first place. In comparison to the original Dancing All Night, it's a step down narrative, as the story and conversations here just aren't as impactful or well set up. While Dancing All Night's story wasn't as great as the mainline games, it at least was in fact an original story that continued Persona 4. Dancing in Starlight and Dancing in Moonlight, on the other hand, lack a real story and are really just there as fan service. If you aren't into music rhythm games but are into Persona, these games probably won't change your mind about the genre. Despite having the Persona name and music attached to it, this is still very much a music rhythm game first and the Persona stuff coming in second, and people should know that going in.
I've never felt like
Dancing in Moonlight and Dancing in Starlight are reminiscent of previous entries in the series and the Project Diva games. Music notes are mapped to the up, left, down, triangle, circle, and X buttons. Now, while in other games you're supposed to time your button press to what's on screen, these games are presented slightly differently. Rather than having the notes fall vertically on screen, they come from the center in a spherical way. As notes spawn in the center and across the entire screen, visuals in the background will continue to play. Usually the visuals will be a character from the Persona series dancing along with the partner, and in more rare occasions it'll be a cutscene from the base games. It oddly meshes together well, often not having one single thing in focus but rather multitasking everything. However, on higher difficulties it can get a bit daunting. As songs get more difficult, new variations on notes and the speed of them will increase. You'll begin to see long notes, double notes, and fever notes that'll make you slap the analog sticks in response to the ring you see on screen. It can quickly go from an easy, relaxing game to a very challenging one. That's the formula throughout the gameplay. Score well enough on the song you're playing, and you'll clear that song and progress to the next. Each of these games have a total of 25 songs from their own respective main game. You'll find the likes of Mass Destruction from Persona 3 and Last Surprise from Persona 5. A lot of these are remix tracks and surprisingly can at times outshine the originals. I'm a pretty big fan of Tofu Beats, so I was happy to see his work in this collection too. As for progression through the games, as you beat each song you'll unlock the next one until you've gone through the entire playlist. As this is happening, you'll complete little challenges that unlock social chapters. This is how the story is told, like the social link events that'll play out in the base RPGs. These aren't as memorable or as iconic though, they're just silly conversations between characters that are really meant more for fan service. The challenges for unlocking these chapters varies from wearing this many different types of costumes to hit this high of a note combo. Speaking of which, clothing is another unlockable throughout both games. As you complete songs in the main dance mode, you'll unlock costumes that you can dress up your characters in. It's cute and charming, but the admiration of it kinda wore off on me pretty quickly. That generally sums up my thoughts on the gameplay. While matching up the notes to these remixes is enjoyable, the tracklist is quite small for each one of these games, costing $60 at launch. The unlockable progression value was also pretty short-lived with me, with just some mediocre interactions between characters as far as the story goes, and cute costumes that quickly became blurred vision in the background of the gameplay. Don't get me wrong, it's great to see the cast of Persona 3 and Persona 5 characters once again, but the nostalgia and charm of it all sort of wore off on me pretty quickly once the story was lacking. Ultimately, it was the tracklist for both of these games that kept me playing, but with the short 25 song list, it felt really shallow in comparison to Persona 4 Dancing All Night song list and the fleshed out story that gave me more reasons to keep playing. Coming from Persona 3 and Persona 5, dancing in Starlight and Moonlight look fantastic. Character models are all rendered in 1080p and run at 60 frames per second. Even though I personally prefer the 2D art of the characters speaking, the higher frame rate looks great for the series and it makes me wish that Persona 5 actually ran at that same frame rate. The 3D renders for the dancing scenes are just as lovely to look at, especially when you customize your characters in your favorite outfits. I personally really appreciated the overall attention to detail with the visuals. Small touches like Junpei using his bat or Akihiko punching in his dance are nice little nods to their personalities in the main games. Likewise, whether you're playing Dancing in Starlight or Dancing in Moonlight, you'll see both games adapt their UI to their respective games. It looks fantastic. With that said, I feel like the main menu title UI could have used some work as it feels rather bland and on par with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale's UI. Now, if you do have a PSVR around, you can use the VR option for certain social chapters that let you explore the rooms of different characters. The added immersion is cool, but it's not something you need to go out and buy a PSVR for. It's just a neat bonus. The Persona series has never slacked on bringing catchy music to the series, and if anything is self-evident of that, it's the fact that these music games exist in the first place. The collection of songs available in both games are admittedly rather small, but it doesn't tarnish the quality of those songs. I was a big fan of the remixes for both Persona 5's jazz pieces and Persona 3's punky pieces. Just as marvelous as the music was the voice acting done by the English cast returning from both RPGs. However, if you prefer the Japanese dialogue, that's an option here too, and I'm sure fans will appreciate that. Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight and Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight offer a collection of great songs to play through in a fun yet challenging rhythm setup. It's apparent how much attention to detail went into designing the dance moves of characters and the UI for both games, touches that fans of the series will notice right away. With that said, the fun is short-lived with a small track list and a weak story premise. While there's fun to be had here for fans of the genre and the Persona series, I don't think the content lives up to the current $60 price tag for each one of these games. I recommend checking them out if you're either a fan of the genre or the series, but only once they go on sale. The Endless Night Collection is a much better package offering all 3 Persona games for the price of $100, bringing each game to roughly $33 each, a much more attractive package. However, that also means investing $100 to a series that some of you will be playing for the very first time in terms of the music games. Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight are good music rhythm games that improve on some of the aspects of Dancing All Night, but then also lack in some of the bigger qualities too. For all these reasons and more, I give both of these games a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you all very much for watching my review. If you found it useful and enjoyable, then please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for more reviews just like this. If you want to keep up to date with me off of YouTube, you can find my social network links, including my Discord, in the description down below. Thank you all once again for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and keep on gaming.